Yo, 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 welcome to episode 14 of the Elite Wrestling Club podcast, where we explore individuals' dreams and the unwavering persistence to achieve them on and off the mat. Hi, I'm your host, Lance Runyon, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another inspiring episode. In this episode, we will be going behind the scenes with Sam Schuyler, who is a current graduate assistant coach at ISU and a three-time NCAA qualifier. We will share personal stories and valuable insights, and we are excited to bring you a fascinating conversation that will inspire and motivate you to chase your dreams and achieve greatness both on and off the mat. So without further ado, let's welcome Sam Schuyler and dive into the Elite Wrestling Club podcast world. The
What's
first
up?
Cyclone on the podcast, baby. I appreciate you taking your time to do this, man, and hop on here and discuss your life and your journey through wrestling.
No doubt, go
Finally,
Cyclone.
yeah, man, finally got it working, which is good.
Yep.
I really just want to start with like a background on you, kind of where you're from.
All right, yeah. So I'm from Long Island, New York. Um, Started my career, my college career, at least at a different school in New York, in Buffalo, and then ended up making my way to Iowa.
Yeah, how did you start wrestling? What got you started in the sport, and what age?
Yeah. So when I first started wrestling, I was in fifth grade, and I used to go to my brother's high school matches. He wasn't really too serious about it, but my other friends would go to the matches, and we would just run around the hallways during the matches and play tag and stuff. And I was a dumb little kid, so I always thought that was wrestling, and I liked it. And then that got me kind of tricked into signing up, and the rest is history with that, really.
Yeah, fifth grade is a pretty early age. I feel like it's kind of varied based on who I've had on the podcast. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like eighth grade, and then sometimes it's like I was 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
But usually it's like if they had older siblings, they started pretty young. So
My brothers really
um
they didn't really wrestle like competitively. I think they just kind of did it to do it.
yeah, yeah. Who was your biggest inspiration growing up, would you say?
Well, my biggest inspiration is obviously I think my parents, but in terms of wrestling, Um, definitely my high school wrestling coach. He wrestled at Iowa under Gable, and then he transferred to West Virginia and wrestled actually for Nate Carr.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it's cool to link back up with Nate Carr and hear some stories about him because um, he knows his stuff. So that's why my high school coach he knew a lot of stuff. So I was blessed. I didn't need to go to a lot of different clubs like other guys and all that. But yeah, definitely him. He kind of molded me into the wrestler and the man I am today, at least in my athletics.
Before diving into today's episode, we would like to shout out our first sponsor of the episode, the Wash Bar. Located at 1125 Fountains Way, right in the heart of Cedar Falls, Iowa, the Wash Bar offers a car wash experience that breaks the mold. At the Wash Bar, customer service is more than just a concept, it's a way of life. Their offerings span from a basic exterior wash to a thorough interior detailing and a comprehensive full service package, all of which can be tailored to meet your unique preferences. With a selection of adaptable memberships for the regular patrons and on demand services for occasional visitors, the Wash Bar truly embodies their ethos: your wash, your way, as often as you like. The Wash Bar's unique selling point isn't just the variety of services they offer, but also the personalized care they're known for. They diligently document each client's specific preferences, guaranteeing a consistent and high quality service with each visit. To heighten the convenience, their advanced app and online scheduling tools remember these preferences, providing a uniquely bespoke experience each time you visit. The Wash Bar prides itself on being a friendly hub where everyone knows not only your name, but also how you like your car to be cleaned. They extend their warm hospitality even to the smallest of patrons, offering complimentary root beer for the kids. The Wash Bar doesn't compromise on quality. Leveraging state of the art wash and detail technology, they promise an unrivaled cleanliness level for your vehicle. They understand the fast paced chaos of modern life and stand by the idea that a clean car is instrumental in fostering a sense of calm. For those who prefer a hands on approach, they provide 24-hour self service bays, including one designed for oversized vehicles. Complimentary services such as free vacuums, tire pressure checks, and an air hose for those hard to reach spots are also available. Additionally, they offer an array of car wash and detailing supplies in their on site shop. Your friendly neighborhood car wash, the Wash Bar in Cedar Falls, Iowa, is devoted to offering an exceptional personalized wash and detail service. Don't delay, head over to the Wash Bar today and experience a car wash with a truly unique spin. Thank you again to our sponsor, the Wash Bar. Now let's begin today's episode. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you mentioned your parents. Obviously, they've probably been some of your biggest supporters. If you want to, talk about them, talk about some other supporters you've had along the way, along your journey in
Yeah,
life.
my parents moved to Ames for my last year of eligibility. They
Man,
they're originally from Queens, from the city in New York, and you know they said like I have one more year of eligibility. Let's be closer to him. We don't want to miss any other events. They've already missed a little bit while I've been in college, so they said we'll be at everything. And they moved here, bought a house down the street, like 20 seconds, so I could see them every day. And it's kind of nice being a heavyweight to have some home cooked meals. I get to keep
yeah,
my weight.
that's sweet.
Yeah, it was a blessing. And then they'd still travel to like all the far matches. They went to Utah this year. They've been to all of them really. So I was pretty blessed with my support system. And then my coach, my high
Yeah,
school
that
coach, he excuse me, he made a lot of trips too. He came out to some of the Iowa matches, like the at Carver this year. So he's pretty supportive too.
I mean, that's pretty special. Your parents get up and move. Did they end up moving back, or are they thinking about staying in Iowa, or do you
No,
know?
well, they're still here, but they're house hunting again. They're gonna look to move south now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
Um, so what was it like growing up in your household? I mean, obviously you said you had an older brother, that was pretty involved in sports. Um, just what was it like? I mean,
So I have two older brothers. They really weren't that like into sports. They always were in the gym lifting and all that. My oldest brother does powerlifting, so he's like 180 pounds. He's smaller than me, but he lifts a lot more than me. And then my middle brother, he actually got into wrestling as a senior because as like I think as because of me, but not too many sports other than me. But having two older brothers was nice. They're really good older brothers. I kind of took them for granted, I think, a little bit growing up, but they were always super supportive of me, and they were good role models. And it's growing up, you get in fights with your older brothers and all that. But now I'm blessed
yeah,
that I had them because I didn't know like really what it meant to have a brother until I kind of matured a little bit.
yeah. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I have two younger brothers, so I'm kind of in the opposite kind of viewpoint. Being the older brother, I've kind of always felt that. I mean, not always, I guess, but being older, obviously, I matured quicker and had that like hindsight, of oh shoot, like I really appreciate my brothers and my family and all that stuff a little bit sooner than they probably did of me. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, definitely had those fights with my brothers too. So I feel you there.
it must be nice that your brother is bigger than you, your little brother.
Yeah, he's like my little big brother.
Yeah.
um, so were there any other sports that you played as a kid? Obviously, heavyweight. You think you probably played football or something growing up, but um,
Well, I was never really that big. Like when I first got to college, I weighed like 190 pounds. I kind of hit a growth spurt like a year or two into college, and then but in high school I did cross country, and then one year I did tennis because my high school wrestling coach was the tennis coach, and they were going to cut the team for a year if a couple of us didn't play. But before high school, I
wow,
did football, I did lacrosse, but kind of towards wrestling, I just towards high school, I just mainly did wrestling. It's different in New York though. I see a lot of teams in Iowa, like they, football and wrestling have good relationships. In New York, at least in my high school, it was kind of like one or the other for these kids. The coaches kind of didn't really agree with like I guess sacrificing their sport for their other sports. I don't know. So I just stayed away from it. Only wrestled, but it was good for me.
yeah, that's interesting because I mean, like you said, in Iowa, it's almost like a pipeline kind of, like football coaches want their bigger guys, their linemen, whoever to wrestle so they can get that movement, the
Yeah,
competitiveness. I don't
that
know.
makes
It's
sense.
just different.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that
I,
that's interesting to hear. I mean,
yeah,
what
yeah.
what high school did you go to?
I went to Kings Park High School in Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was like wrestling big there, or what's kind of big at that
Um.
school or around the area?
Well, Long Island wrestling's always been pretty good. Like, there's one of my teammates, Zach Redding. He's from Long Island.
Yep.
And a couple other guys around the country, like Vito's from Long Island, Nick Piccinini, Jesse Del Vecchio. Those are some guys who came from Long Island recently. But my high school, it was decent wrestling. We had a couple good guys. Um, my high school wasn't really a sports high school. The women's volleyball. They're pretty good. I think they won the state title like 10 years in a row. Like, weirdly enough, but
Dang.
I'm from a smaller Long Island high school. My graduating class was about 250. That's probably big in Iowa from what I've heard, but it's not too big in New York.
Yeah, I mean, 250s. I mean, that'd probably be 3A. I mean,
Is that big?
so yeah, it's like 1A, 2A, 3A. 3A is the biggest.
Uh,
But like my high school, I was like 500, 600.
yeah.
So my graduating class, it
Yeah,
varies.
you're from a big high school, Southeast Polk.
Yep. Yep.
You,
So obviously you said fifth grade, right? That you
yeah,
started. You didn't really need to go to a club, and because you're high school coach. So did you do a lot of individual work? Was there like a club at your school that you guys kind of went and had practice, or where'd you get most of your training in? Growing up through early
my high
and
school
then
coach.
middle school.
My high school coach. We had practices all year round, like at least 3 times a week, like all year round, and that's what we did. We had a couple weeks off in August he'd give us, but we were so close to the school, and it was such like a small group of us that he was able to look after us and just feed us knowledge like all year round, which was great. Um, so I was pretty blessed with that, just having to go across the street to my high school, not needing to travel
Oh,
around and everything. Yeah.
yeah. Did you do any traveling to different tournaments and stuff around the country, or did you mostly stay in New York for tournaments and stuff like that?
I did Fargo twice. My lifetime record of Fargo's got to be like 3-8, dude. It was terrible. I've been in Northeast regionals like 5 times, but a lot of the smaller like weekend freestyle tournaments, like a lot of those. Um,
Yep.
and then I went to Virginia Beach Nationals one time my senior year. That's when I still wasn't really committed to a school yet, and I was like, let's just go. Um, yeah, that's it. I never really traveled around too much.
Yeah. So high school, freshman, sophomore. How did those years go? I mean, I obviously I know you got third as a senior at New York State, and then like you said, Virginia Beach, you were an All American your senior
Yeah,
year. It's pretty cool. How did those first years go? Was there a lot of growth happening? A lot of time being put in? Obviously, body development too, jumping
yeah,
weights and stuff like that. So
yeah, definitely. My freshman year, I was 132 pounds. I was a JV guy. I ended my season 15-8, just like a normal wrestler, But I kept wrestling, kept training. My second year, I think I was gonna have a pretty good year, but broke my hand. My whole season was done. My record up until that point was like 12-5. So, and then my junior year, I kind of had like a little bit of a breakthrough year, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't crazy. But I kind of tricked myself into thinking I did something. I took second in my county, and then qualified for states, did not place. And then my senior year, took third, was the 1 seed, undefeated, lost in the semis, and yeah. So my high school career was pretty underwhelming, but I always knew how to wrestle. I couldn't really put it together. That was the most frustrating part for my career, at least, because I was kind of looking for a school to go to, and I couldn't like the schools I had offers from. Like I just felt like kind of embarrassed going to them. I don't see an issue going to a smaller school, but like I just knew I was better than the opportunities I had.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a lot to unpack there. I mean, obviously, suffering that injury your sophomore year, felt like you were going to have a good season. What
Yeah.
what were you able to take away from that? Obviously, not being able to complete the season, had to take some time off, step away a little bit.
Mhm. That was actually really tough. Um, that was like my first real injury that like sidelined me, so it actually was very hard to stay focused and just like not wavering and doing the wrong things. Obviously, I was in 10th grade. I wasn't gonna be doing the wrong things, but still, maybe eating junk food or just getting lazy. So that was a
Yep.
challenging time for me. Just wasting a whole year of high school wrestling, but it just taught me to just take it day by day. It's really all you can do when you're not in control of a little injury or something like that.
That's a motto I live
Day
by
by
day. I love
yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, so then your senior year, you mentioned one seed, undefeated, going into the tournament. Obviously, it probably sucked pretty bad, ended up losing, taking third. But looking back on it, there's probably a lot that you took from it, and that you're you know grateful for, and grateful that it happened, because
Yeah.
everything ended up working out in the end. If you want to talk a little bit about what you learned from that adversity, that setback a little bit.
Yeah. Damn, I think about that a lot still, honestly, like how my life could have like been altered a little bit, at least my story. But it kind of sucked, taking I wanted to win the state tournament. That's what everyone wants to do in high school. And I don't know, I think it all played out the way it was supposed to, for me at least. I got to go to a school, some schools didn't want me because I'd lost. Some schools probably wanted me to win. Some schools I was talking to, some bigger ones at least, had to settle for a school. But in terms of my journey, it led me here, and
Yep.
and it worked out good for me.
Yeah, I like
God's
that.
plan.
That's right. Planned out the way he had it for you the whole time, man.
Yeah,
And I mean, what was that decision and recruiting process like then? I mean, obviously you went to Virginia Beach, got an All American status there, ended up committing to Buffalo.
hmm
You want to talk a little bit about that journey through making that decision, and how you ended up making that decision?
yeah. So my high school coach, he kind of has some pull in the game, but my grades in high school weren't really too great, and he kind of didn't. I kind of understand he didn't really want to, throw his name out there for me, but because he didn't know how it would play out and like how it would make him look. I get that because you want to have a good relationship with coaches, keep kind of like a pipeline for your high school, and I had a couple offers. I was basically between Edinburgh and Buffalo. I visited Edinburgh, and I don't know if you've ever been there. Like that school is just
I
in the
have.
middle of the sticks in Pennsylvania, and I couldn't see myself really going there. So I kind of just took it as a sign I was going to go to Buffalo, and they welcomed me with open arms, and I'm grateful for everything they gave me for 4 years, but I kind of just outgrew it.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that either at all.
Yeah,
But I kind of want to dive in a little bit to your journey at Buffalo, if you don't mind. Just obviously that redshirt year for everyone's kind of a shaping year.
yeah,
You learn a lot. You kind of it's a make or break kind of deal. You either learn to put your head down and do work, or you kind of take a back seat and find
hmm
your place. And talk a little bit about that for you, and what you took away from that redshirt year.
yeah. So I've always trained pretty hard. Like if I have a practice, I was always going to give it my all. Like I shape my day around being ready and being 100% for my workouts. So, I got there. We trained pretty hard. Buffalo, like they're not these blue chip guys. They kind of have to work hard to develop and have success. So we worked out a lot. We ran a lot, hard conditioning, like hours on the mat. But so I was doing pretty good training wise. My redshirt year, my first Open, I went 0 and 2. Second Open, I went 0 and 2. So I started off my career 0 and 4. My dad called the coach, says maybe this isn't for him, and I don't know. I was like, Dad, I could do this. Kept putting my head down, just kept working, and that was hard to do after going 0 and 4. So just kept chipping away, really, trying to close the gap on some guys. Ended my redshirt year like I think over 30 wins, and it was hard, really. But as a redshirt, you're supposed to put more work in my opinion, because you're not really
Yep.
competing, in these big matches. So I just tried, every day doing something hard, and paid off. I developed pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, then your sophomore year, I think, or your redshirt freshman year, um, ended up getting the start right at 197.
For like the beginning of the year. But the senior, the weird thing about that, he used to whip my butt in the room every day. Like I'll confess that every day with my butt. We wrestled off. I beat him, and I started the first couple matches, and then end of the year I was just being like a stupid freshman. Didn't do my weight right. Couldn't even compete with him at all. Like, and he just outworked me. He earned the spot over me. I'll give him that. He's a good guy. I still talk to him, but that really helped me. I think that year it was like a wake up call. Like, it's not going to be easy, because the end of my redshirt year I kind of figured it out. I was getting some good wins, but I thought it was going to be. I
Yep.
had like a little misconception. It's going to be easy. It's not easy. It's harder to like crack the lineup. And that was a wake up call for me. So
Yeah, so then the next year, I mean, full starter, right? Started in every duel. Um,
that year, that year I was coming off. Oh, actually, finish what you were saying. Sorry.
um, well, it was your sophomore year, right? You've had a whole season that season as a starter. Were you coming off that UWW junior, or was that
Yeah, that was after my retro freshman year. After
okay?
I
Yeah,
spot, yeah. I trained like an animal, won that tournament, the UWW Juniors in Vegas, beat
yep,
Tanner Sloan finals. That was like probably my favorite match of my life. It was like a shootout. We were just both just scoring so much points. It was like a fun match. I was about to cough up a lung. I was so tired, but I won that. And then the following, when the first tournament of the year, Michigan State Open, my redshirt sophomore year, I took out Stout from Pitt. He was ranked like 20 at the time. Beat Christian Brunner from Purdue, who was ranked probably like around 5. Then I beat, who did I beat? Can't remember, but either way, first weekend of the year I was ranked like 10th in the country. Winning, I was like probably like 8-0, 9-0, and then I hit this wicked slump. Lost to matches I should not have lost to. Ended the season, I don't even know if I was ranked. Maybe ranked like 25, 30, and that was tough. That was a hard come down.
yeah. I mean, do you remember, kind of going through that slump? What your coaches were telling you, how you were, working through it.
I think I was kind of on my own there. My coach at Buffalo, I'm grateful for a lot of things he did for me, but he really wasn't a good, you know, I don't really think motivation is the right word, because you can't really motivate someone like that. You got that, it's kind of on them. I feel like you bring it out of them, but he was
Yep.
kind of like just digging me into a deeper hole. But I had to kind of figure it out myself. So what I did was, when the national tournament got canceled, I went home for the COVID break, and I was like, I'm not cutting weight. I'm bulking up the heavyweight, put on like 30, 40 pounds, lifted, got strong, and just like pretty much when I got big, found my passion for wrestling again. Because my whole career up to that point was up and down, like highs and lows. And that happens to a lot of people, but
Yep.
for me, felt like it was kind of radical.
Yeah. I mean, you go from UWW junior champ, big wins, top 10 of the country, have a slump, right? And then COVID hits, training's done, kind of
Yeah.
on your own. I mean, depending on where you're at, I mean, didn't depended on the school, I think, what was
Yeah.
available and what wasn't. But um, you made that transition to heavyweight, and I think some good things are really happening for you there. You ended up being a NCAA qualifier that next year.
Hmm.
You want to talk about, your training through COVID and really that mindset shift you had that next year, being able to make that next jump and get to that NCAA qualifier.
Yeah. So I wrestled Kassar my redshirt freshman year, and I was like barely 210. He was probably 230, and I got my butt kicked. Like I was like delusional in a sense that I actually thought like I could beat him. So I know I had a little bit of like a temptation to go heavyweight. I just went with it, bulked up. My parents were super supportive. Um, you know, buying me food and everything to gain some weight, buying me weights for the
Oh
COVID,
yeah.
yeah, for the garage gym. And it's fun when you don't got to worry about cutting weight. You got to worry about just wrestling and just having good workouts. It's nothing beats that. That's when wrestling's fun, in my opinion. So, and I said, I have a frame. I could put on some weight. I could be a heavyweight. I did it, and got back to my routine of just training like a madman without having to worry about coming in under a certain weight or not eating this, not eating that. So it was good. It was a really good time for me.
You talked about this delusional kind of mindset, and you're the second person I've kind of heard that from,
Hmm.
actually. Drew Foster actually talks a little bit about that, just that delusion of which, even if you get beat, like that guy kind of got lucky,
Yeah,
or he gets a takedown, or you get a takedown and he ends up even beating you, but you're like, man, I got that takedown. He got lucky. He even beat me.
yeah.
That how did you kind of frame that mindset of that delusion?
I think this comes from like confidence. If you're confident in yourself and you wrestle a guy, and you might not win, but you could pick out little victories from a match, pick out little things. Whatever it is, you defended one of his shots, or you got out from bottom, fill in the blank. And for me personally, I think when I wrestled Kassar, I just got kind of outsized, maybe out experienced a little bit. He beat me. He beat me, maybe majored me. I can't remember exactly, but I knew there was something in that match. Like I knew I could go with him. So that was my delusion at least. Whenever I wrestle anyone, I wrestle Younger, Bastida in the room. He's a stud, that kid. I get a couple of takedowns of practice. That's a win for me, really. Anything, find those little wins.
Right. Yeah, those little wins. That's huge, man. That's
Hmm.
good. Um, so obviously NCAA qualifier that year, and then ended up hitting the transfer portal. Um, what was that like? After coming off that NCAA qualifier, obviously have had some big wins, had some success. You've seen yourself doing really well. You got a lot of potential.
Hmm.
Um, talk a little bit about that portal. What made you make your decision? How'd you make your decision, and why?
Yeah. So first, I think so. For me, transferring that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I was comfortable in Buffalo. I had my friends there, had my scholarship. Everything was good. Like I was comfortable, but I knew like if I wanted to reach my goals and keep developing, I knew I was going to have to find something a little bit bigger. So I hit the portal, and by the grace of God, some schools called me. Um, one of them being Iowa State, of course, and another thing, thank gosh, Gannon Gremmo, the returning All American, did not take his COVID year because that let me slide right in the lineup. And yeah, but when Iowa State called, I was like, damn, like it's like such a the tradition here and everything. I was like, how can I not go to that school? You know,
Yeah,
I had some other schools calling, but I was like, I had my chips in my basket for Iowa State. Didn't even
I mean,
visit, came.
yeah, tradition is huge, though.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, it's a selling point, and knowing that that guys have been successful. Obviously, watching a guy like Gannon Grimmel,
Hmm.
obviously he was a stud in high school, but I mean, he just did it. He was at the peak. He All-Americaned year before, and you're sliding in, and you're holding that expectation of, I'm going to be that next guy.
Yeah.
Um, watching some of your interviews, you talked about that confidence, talking about that confidence in yourself, even here in this podcast. And where does that come from? How do you develop that confidence in yourself and just make it where it's unshakable?
I think training, it might be a little cliche, but every workout, I would just make sure to be prepared, make sure I was well rested, well fed, well hydrated, just like so I get everything out of this hour and a half, 2 hours, like give it everything I had. 'Cause I know definitely wasn't like I had great resources here. I have world class partners. I have the best coaches, some of the best coaches in the country. Um, I know my technique is one of the best in the country. I have great technique, and I stand by that. And for me, it was just trusting myself, trusting my coaches, everything they put together for me, and just like not holding back anymore. Because that's the thing, you're kind of people are scared to win sometimes, and you got to understand that you deserve to win.
Before we continue today's episode, we would like to give a shout out to our second podcast episode sponsor, Iowa Ortho. Iowa Ortho stands as a leading health service provider nestled in the central region of Iowa, committed to delivering outstanding orthopedic care to both the local residents and individuals from farther afield. With a team of experts on hand, Iowa Ortho furnishes comprehensive care designed to tackle an extensive variety of orthopedic difficulties, including sports injuries, arthritis, and more. Their primary objective is to aid patients in reclaiming their comfort and boosting their overall quality of life. A pivotal feature of Iowa Ortho services is their accessibility. Given their network of 9 conveniently situated locations across central Iowa, whether you're in need of a simple consultation or a comprehensive treatment regimen, setting up an appointment is straightforward. You can use their intuitively designed website at www.iowaortho.com to arrange an appointment online, or if you prefer, you can reach out to them directly at 515-247-8400. This efficient appointment process ensures patients can readily access the care they necessitate. Among Iowa Ortho's distinctive services is the state-of-the-art body composition scan, which is particularly beneficial for individuals involved in sports, including wrestlers. This sophisticated analysis employs a DXA scanner to meticulously assess body fat, muscle content, and bone distribution. Gaining insights into these factors can be instrumental for tailoring training schedules and better comprehending one's unique physiological needs. Further, the body composition scan is available at a surprising cost of $40, making it an attractive proposition for athletes looking to improve their performance or anyone striving for a life free from pain. Regardless of whether you're an athlete aiming to elevate your performance or an individual aspiring for a pain-free existence, Iowa Ortho indisputably represents the best choice in healthcare. Their dedication to superior orthopedic care, paired with the convenience of numerous locations, assures patients of top quality treatment. Take a moment to explore the broad array of services provided by Iowa Ortho today and take a step towards improved orthopedic health. Visit their website or contact them by phone to arrange an appointment and witness their exceptional care personally. Thank you, Iowa Ortho, for your support. Let's get back to the episode. Deserve to win. I
Yep.
like that. All that work you put in, you
Hmm.
deserve it, right?
Yeah. Why
Um,
not?
Yep. Another thing I've heard you talk about is just your conditioning. In interviews, you have confidence in it because you said you train like a madman.
Yeah.
You have that trust in your conditioning. You're willing to put that extra little bit in to get that last second takedown or you know that ride out or that last mat return, whatever it is, and just, I mean, talk about how you build that trust in your training. How do you train and stay confident in it?
It's a good question. Stay confident. I think obviously I think your confidence you build confidence by also having success. Like, yeah, you could train hard, but you still have to win. And I think just wanting to win and competing to win, not conceding, not giving up points, yeah, getting that last takedown, getting that ride out, that just like, solidifies your confidence and just proves to yourself that what you're doing is the right thing. So obviously in practice, just like a practice, like a little practice note. I'm not going with Younger every day. I'm not going with these Kyvan. I wasn't going with him every day. You want to go with a guy who's you could score 20 takedowns on. You want to go with a guy who you are fighting to get one takedown on, and that's also helped me a lot.
Yeah, that I like that a lot. You know,
Yeah,
getting pushed, but then also being able to almost like humble yourself, but then build yourself back up.
yeah,
You know,
yep.
so obviously made the transfer to Iowa State. Um, Ended up being a NCAA qualifier that next year, fifth at the Big 12s. Want to talk about that junior year season and how it went, and you know the year and throughout, and how it went that first year at Iowa State.
First year, yeah. So that year was kind of up and down. I first got on campus, second practice, I think. I don't second or third. Tore my ACL, needed surgery. By the grace of God, they were able to just like do like a reattachment, not like a reconstruction. Was out for 4 months. Um, did like a week of training. Went to the Daxtronic Open. You and I was there. Saw Lance Runyon. Um, uh, Took second there, but then the rest of the season, I kind of had those internal thoughts. I wouldn't really ask me like, do I belong here? Because I knew I belonged, but it was kind of just, was I willing to? I don't know. Was I willing to put it on the line to win? To like not to win. I worked hard. I wanted to win, but I don't know. It was just like maybe like some competition anxiety, I guess you could call it. But I definitely don't think I performed to the best of my ability that whole year. It wasn't a bad year by any means, but in the postseason, did not. I went 0-2 at the Nationals, and I'm not an 0-2 guy. Um, but that season was a good learning curve for me. I was still getting used to a harder schedule. The Big 12 it's a meat grinder. You got to rank guy every week. Got to be ready for that. Um, Getting used to these 5,000 plus spectator events. So it was a lot to take in, but that really helped propel me for my last year.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. So another knee surgery, obviously out for 4 months. Kind of goes back to that sophomore year of high school where took everything away, but this time you were given that extra chance, kind of to
Yeah.
finish the season, and
Mm.
talk about how you kind of just focused on your upper body, able to still mentally make a shift, getting better at wrestling before that season.
Yeah, I just tried staying around the room, staying around practice. I can't really practice with my body, but I could practice with my mind. Take in techniques that the coaching staff is showing me because this is still my new coaching staff. I'm still learning new things from them. So, picking up
Yep.
what they have to offer. Was still doing a lot of conditioning, a lot of upper body lifting, just trying to stay ready to go at a moment's notice. So that's why when I got cleared, it was like a week before the final. It was a week before like the first open. So I was in good enough shape, and I felt great when I finally got cleared to go.
Yeah, and then the next year, obviously, you had a great year your senior year, Big 12 finalist, NCAA qualifier, right there at All American status. Want to talk about how you prepared for that final year, your mindset going in. Obviously, getting bigger, getting stronger, eating better, all those things played a role. You were able to get a feel for all those things going into that season. You talked about the crowd, obviously getting used to your coaches, different training techniques, training over the summer. Talk about that a little bit. Talk about how you kind of got used to that, and what you took from it going into your senior year.
Yeah, definitely. My opinion, that senior year, like not given enough, that's a real thing. It's your last year. It's everything you have, everything you work for. Like this is your last shot. I felt that every match. I really had like a calmness to myself before every dual meet. Like, it came down to the last match multiple times during the year, and I took it like I was not nervous at all. Dresser likes to always joke about the year prior. He always said I would have like poop running down my leg because I got nervous. I was very nervous. But this year I just matured and like I don't know. I knew it was my last shot to just take it all in. Like, when am I going to wrestle in front of these sold out crowds again? When am I going to wrestle in Carver again? I don't know. So it felt, it was kind of calming to know that it doesn't matter. Just throw it all out there.
Before wrapping up this week's episode, we would like to give a shout out to our final sponsor, Mulligan's Brick Oven. Mulligan's Brick Oven Grill and Pub guarantees a delightful dining experience filled with the incredible flavors and lasting memories. This establishment creates a welcoming and friendly ambiance, allowing guests to choose between the lively atmosphere of the pub or the serene setting of the East Wing. Conveniently situated between 18th Street and the Cedar Prairie Trail, Mulligan's enjoys a central location that appeals to both locals and visitors alike. At Mulligan's, their menu showcases their unwavering commitment to delivering mouth-watering and inventive dishes. With a focus on brick oven pizza, they offer a selection of progressive pub fare that caters to a diverse range of tastes. Whether you have a penchant for a classic favorite or crave culinary creations with a twist, each dish is meticulously prepared to ensure unparalleled quality and flavor. Notably, their brick oven pizzas have become a beloved choice, combining the timeless essence of traditional pizza with a unique touch. In addition to their exceptional food offerings, Mulligan's takes pride in their extensive beer menu, thoughtfully created to perfectly complement their cuisine. Whether you prefer a lighter or darker brew or enjoy the complexity of malty or hoppy flavors, they have a wide selection of beers to satisfy individual preferences. Operating from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. from Sundays through Wednesdays, and extending their hours until midnight on Thursdays through Saturdays, Mulligan's provides ample opportunities to savor their culinary delights and explore the diverse range of beers on offer. Thank you again, Mulligan's Brick Oven Pizza, Grill and Pub. Yeah, I mean, what you're talking about is gratitude. Just soaking it all in, being grateful for the moment, being grateful for the opportunity. I mean, you knew it was coming to an end. You knew that any match could be your last match, and I think that's a huge reality. I think for people, just being able to realize that.
Yeah, I think that comes with maturity, though. You know,
Yep.
if I could have brought that to the mat when I was a freshman, oh my god, I'd be so much better off for it. That's why when I see guys like Casey Swiderski, he started off the season really well. He was super confident. He took a couple losses, and you see it like put a toll on them because they're kind of so focused on winning. But when you're in that state of just like I'm grateful to wrestle and I'm enjoying it, like you wrestle, you're unstoppable, really.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about that mindset shift that you had to be prepared to close out the duel. You said that was a big change from your junior year to senior year. Um, what kind of happened there? What was that mindset shift? Was it something other than just being grateful, or was that a lot that went into it?
That's a lot that went into it, but I'd say a little bit was my preparation. The summer before that, I went to the U.S. Open. I did pretty well. I beat some good guys. I placed. I went to the Olympic Training Center. I wrestled with some world class guys there, and I like beat some good guys there and proved to myself that I am good. I can make a run. I already knew that, but I was just reassuring myself, and that's always nice. That's what you need sometimes, is reassurance. And
Yep.
and so when the dual meet came down to me, I knew my teammates trusted me. So I was like, let's just win. Let's just put it away here. And yeah, and I think it stems a lot from gratitude, though.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I've heard you talk about a little bit in your interviews is just that expectation. Um, when you transferred to ISU, it was an expectation for you to win. It was an expectation for you to fill those shoes, to be able to close out the duel, for it to come down to you in those big time duels and you to put it away.
Yeah,
Um, we want to talk a little bit about filling those shoes, exceeding that expectation, being able to win those big time matches.
yeah. It's cliche, but losing, like, it's not an option. Like when you go out there to win and lose, like you can't lose. Like you have to win. Obviously, you shouldn't think I have to win, but you don't. Your options aren't winning and losing. You have to win. You have to be more. You have to have more points than your opponent. So you know, I don't know. I just knew that. Like I don't know. I just knew that if I just wrestled my match for the whole year, I was just I was going to beat everyone. Like with my conditioning, my training, my skills, and I knew like as a senior, there really is no more moral victories. That's what I called it, at least. Like you can't go like, oh, I almost beat him. No, you're a senior. Your job is to win. You're in the lineup. Your job's to win. We're ranked third in the country. There's no losing. Like you gotta win. That's what I told myself.
Yeah. So did that delusion kind of go away then, like as you're in that senior year?
Yeah, it wasn't even
You
delusion.
talked
Yeah, it was like, yo, you gotta win. Like win.
right. Yeah, I mean that confidence just really came out. So obviously, I want to talk a little bit about you brought up Carver. Obviously, we sold out 2 arenas at McLeod, dueling
Yeah.
each other. It's pretty cool atmosphere. Talk about wrestling at Carver and Iowa and just the rivalry.
Yeah, the rivalry. When I first transferred here, I was kind of like, oh, whatever, the rivalry. Like, I don't really care. I'm just from New York. I'm here to wrestle. And then when it got to it, I was like, damn, f those dudes. Like, I don't know. It just, I guess it gets engraved in you a little bit, but I wanted to beat them so bad. Um, the first year I wrestled them, I plead the fifth on that match. It did not end well. The second time I wrestled him, I kind of got carvered a little bit. I went out there, I was hyped up. I was like, let's go. I took some stupid shots, and my opponent. He was pretty good, so he counter attacked me and took me down, and he's really good on top. So he kind of held me down, but I don't know. That arena it's so fun. It's packed out, full of Iowa dudes chirping you. A lot of poor wording by their spectators, but it was great. That's like a memory I'll be able to keep with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
And
McLeod,
then yeah,
yeah, that was cool. Like that dual meet, you guys aren't always ranked like super high, but everyone knows you and I pulls off these crazy wins. Like you guys beat Ohio State like a couple weekends into the year, and
yep.
so we always knew going into those matches we had to be locked in and save bonus where we had to, win where we need to, and kind of came down to me both times, but we were ready for that.
Before you go anywhere, if you didn't know, at EWC we specialize in custom gear and team apparel, creating unique and personalized experiences just for you. Don't wait another moment. Unlock the potential of your team's identity with our expert services. Visit our website now and let's begin the journey together. To get started, go to our website, which is elitewrestlingclub.store, and follow the 3 simple steps. Complete the info form, design an order, and complete the shipping and handling. It's that easy. Yeah, I mean, it kind of brought me back to what you were talking about more or earlier, I guess. More points than your opponent. Just losing not an option, but really what it came down to is that clutch factor.
Yeah,
I've heard you talk about that a little bit. Just deciding that you want it more,
yeah,
I think, is the wording that you put into it. You got to go get a takedown. You're trusting your training. You're trusting your conditioning, and you go get it. You make the decision as soon as you step on the line.
yeah.
So
Quite a few of my matches this senior year, I won with like a buzzer beater takedown. Like that's not something like that's luck for me. That's like I could pull that out. I have some good attacks. I have good conditioning, so I kind of like those matches. I know I'm gonna win them.
yeah, was it Pitt that you had that last second?
Yeah, Pitt. Yeah, that was to win the duel. I also did it against Hilger.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, Hilger. I did it against. Um, who else? There's another one there, but yeah, those are fun matches.
Yeah. Um, what would you say is one of the biggest takeaways from your career
Biggest takeaways. It's a good
that you
question.
can kind of transfer to life, you know?
Yeah.
Same kind of mindset or whatever.
There's a quote I heard towards the end of the year. It's what's falling down to a committed man. And that quote really sticks to me because, you're going to get knocked down. Everyone's going to. And if you're that committed and that focused on your end goal, getting knocked down is nothing. Just get up and keep going. I didn't get my All-American status, but it's on to the next thing. If I did All-American, it'd still be on to the next thing. So, whatever the goal is, you got to keep chipping away at it.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yep.
Focusing on the process, not the outcome, right?
Yep.
Progress you made along the way. That's what got you to be the person you are today. So
Definitely.
that's huge. Um, what would you say is one of your favorite moments or memories of your career?
Um, Favorite memories. Well, since you're a Panther, I'm gonna say winning the dual meet last year in McLeod against I don't want to be a jerk, but remind me his name. Last,
Tyrell
no, not Tyrell.
Carter.
Yeah, Carter Isley. Yeah.
Okay.
So I personally that was like that's not one of my favorite matches, but looking back, my team going crazy and like the stands and everything, that like looking back, that was one of my favorite moments. My personal favorite match though, I don't know. There's a lot of them. I just love wrestling in Hilton. I love honestly every match in Hilton was so much fun. God, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know my favorite memory.
um, so obviously there were some new rules kind of put into play this year.
Yeah.
Obviously you're not gonna be able to live out the 3 point takedown, but I just wanted to get your thoughts of on it.
3 point takedown, man. That's if I was in college, I would have loved that. I was a takedown guy. If you look at my back points throughout college, I probably don't have too many, but takedowns, I'd probably get around 50 a year. I was a takedown guy for sure. But I'm super excited to see how that plays out. Guys on my team like Younger and like Casey Swiderski, they come to mind because those dudes are badass on their feet, and I can see them really splitting scores and taking out a lot of good guys with that rule.
Yeah. So obviously now we can kind of move into to your plans next. Obviously going to be a graduate assistant
Yep.
for Iowa State. Um, what are you studying, and what are you most excited about as a coach?
Yeah. So I'm in my graduate degree for higher ed administration. I want to do something along the lines of like athletic directing, something along those lines. But I'm still learning, moving towards something in that field. But as like a coach, I'm just kind of trying to be there for these guys, just work out with them whenever they need me to, and just I don't know, just they could just use me as a resource. Guys like Younger, he's gonna need me as a partner. Some other younger guys might need me for little technical things or fill in the blank, but I want to be there, just fill in the void of wherever I can help them.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say you're looking forward to most as a grad assistant?
Some guys develop and have success this year because I know for a fact some of these dudes are going to turn like a lot of these kids you guys don't even know the names of yet. They're going to surprise a lot of people. That's what I'm excited for.
Well,
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Um, are you thinking about doing any competing in the future? I don't know if you want to do any news drop of what you got cooking up, or if you're planning on competing or not. But
Yeah. So I just agreed to doing a match for stalemates in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm wrestling some guy named Prius or something or Gas Tank Gary, something like that. Um, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that should be a good match. Me and him. I don't know him, but I've seen him wrestle. He's not a bad guy. So we're gonna square up August 5th in Cincinnati.
August 5th.
Yep,
Everybody tune in.
tune in.
Um, so in the next 5 to 10 years, what would you say are some of your biggest goals or aspirations you looking to achieve?
Yeah, well, I don't know how long I plan to compete for, but I definitely want to stay around the sport of wrestling. Wrestling's done so much for me, and whether that's coaching a high school team, whether that's moving on and coaching another college team, but I'm going to stay around the sport in some aspect, and that's my goal for now. I just want to continue. I want to finish my degree and then kind of take it from there. I have some smaller plans. No, some big plans, but I'm gonna give away my secrets.
Yeah, that's fine. You can keep your secrets to yourself. Um, what is one piece of advice that you would give to young wrestlers?
Hmm. Piece of advice. Let me think about that one for a second.
Take your
Huh.
time.
The only thing that's coming to mind right now is just success is the best revenge.
Okay.
Put your head down at work. So you gotta put your head down at work, and
Yep.
then if you have haters, prove them wrong.
There you go. I like it. All right. Usually I finish up with a little rapid fire questions, just to get to know you a little bit. Um, so here we go.
Let's
What's
go.
your favorite place to eat in Ames?
I'm from New York. Good food on every corner. Here, there's nothing. I'm gonna have to say Chipotle.
Okay. What's your favorite food to eat in New York?
I love sushi.
They
I'm a
got good
sushi.
sushi out there?
Come on, bro. Of course they got good sushi out there.
I'll have to check it out. What's your favorite sports team?
New York Giants.
Okay. What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, anything Jake Gyllenhaal. Not one. I'm not giving you one. I can't. Anything Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Who's your favorite athlete?
Derek Jeter.
All right.
The
And
cap.
then what's your favorite home cooked meal?
Ooh. Well, I love a steak, but I'm not going to count that. So my mom's chicken parm.
Okay. Dang,
Has to be
that
from my
sounds
mom.
good actually.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I'm gonna close it out for us. Thank you for listening to the Elite Wrestling Club podcast. We hope you found today's episode valuable and enjoyed our exploration of Sam Schuyler. To stay connected with us, hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode. We release new content every Monday. Leave a review on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Your reviews help us reach more listeners and provide valuable content. Visit the Elite Wrestling Club website and follow us on social media for questions, topic suggestions, or to connect with our community. If you love the episode, please consider donating to us using our Elite Wrestling Club PayPal or Venmo, which is located on our Elite Wrestling Club podcast website. Go to elitewrestlingclub.store, click podcast, and then hit the podcast website button in yellow, where you will see the donation heart in the top right corner. These donations help us continue providing remarkable content for you weekly, as well as improve your experience for future episodes as well. Exciting episodes are on the way, so stay tuned and join us next time for more inspiration. Thank you for being a part of the Elite Wrestling Club podcast world. Keep exploring within to inspire others.